Welcome back to the Last American Pubcast, and welcome everyone to this wonderful pub where everyone knows each other's name, or at least I know these guys' names. I know most of you guys' names out there as well. And of course, as always, we are talking the biggest things that are happening in the week, and we know the FBI, the Trump, and everything that happened this week. A lot to talk about. Talk about the strike that happened on the channel. Talk about how YouTube actually absolutely hates us talking about how the meat should be cooked, well done or rare. That was pushed him over to Susan Wojcicki was upset. Got a letter, got a tweet from them on Twitter. Absolutely bonkers, and we'll talk all about that tonight. And tonight, joining us as always, I'm Frank from Let's Be Frank. Next to me we have PJ from Wartime Propaganda, and down below we have America Floats Tom coming in, and our special guest tonight, Abby Libby, over from Twitter. Thank you for coming in tonight.
Thanks
excited to have you here, Abby.
Thanks.
So I gotta say,
it's okay.
I gotta say, like, as much as I'm not for censorship, I started thinking to myself today, if YouTube is censoring Bryson Gray in particular, which is my claim, over the fact that he likes his steaks well done, I'm not sure I blame him entirely. Like, I don't know.
That is the type of hateful, divisive misinformation that we really just have to root out of our public spaces.
Yeah,
it's really about health and safety, right? They don't want anyone to get the wrong idea and cook a steak well done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the FDA approves shoe leather for human consumption. So,
oh no, absolutely. So let's go ahead and raise our glass for the first topic tonight. We're talking tonight about the unjustified raid that took place on Mar-a-Lago, where the FBI rummaged through Melania Trump's outfits and underwear drawer in order to bring him back to do Lord knows what with it. One speculates J. Edgar Hoover, maybe they're trying to reenact how he loved women's clothes. Who knows? But we're going to be talking about that tonight and the ramifications from that. The fallout from that, and all the lies that the media were talking about that. And I just want to say thank you to Remington Stewart for the round he just bought for everybody tonight. Thank you. He says, hold the line, Patriots, in honor, there is hope. Yeah,
absolutely. I got to say, I find it funny, though. The one comment I keep seeing from weak people like Liz Cheney, who's having her dad go out there, instead of shooting someone in the face, he's trying to save her campaign. But they're going out there and they're saying, the feds, the FBI, they're actually wonderful people. It's just one or two people, and I've just been saying this for a long time. The FBI has been the same organization from the beginning. So not just in their corruption and targeting political opponents, but they are following after J. Edgar Hoover's footsteps and raiding Melania Trump's closet. So none of this is surprising if you've been paying attention to them for a while.
Yeah, is everyone at home aware that the FBI started with a bunch of cross-dressers trying to use that as blackmail against each other, and then created a cabal and then named it the FBI?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's facts like that. That's true. Let me look that up. I think that is true.
That's my drunk history version of it.
Yep.
It sounds like fake news.
It's at least partially real news.
It's just alternative facts, okay, Abby?
That's right. It's the side of the story you have not heard before.
It's my truth, Abby. It's my truth.
Now you know the rest of the story.
But in all honesty, they have been targeting a political campaign since Woodrow Wilson's time. It's nothing new. I've never understood this argument. The FBI has only recently been corrupt. The FBI has only recently done some pretty shady stuff. It's been going on for over 100 years.
This is the case with so much of what's going on. Everyone's freaking out as if it's new. It's like, no, you just happen to notice it now.
Yeah, I have a couple stories that we're going to lean into with speaking of that. Dan Crenshaw recently came out in the article in Axios where he said that the calling for the defunding of the FBI by Republicans is making us very unserious as political or politicians in Congress. And Marjorie Taylor Greene had an epic Twitter rant that listed everything that the Republicans failed to do in the first 2 years of Congress when having both the House and Senate and President Trump, and they were failed unserious candidates that were unable to actually accomplish anything. So it was pretty epic, and we'll dive into that a little bit later. But the ramifications for this stuff that just took place is massive. One, I think what it really did, it really opened up a lot of eyes for normies around the country.
Yeah, I mean, is anybody surprised to see Eye Patch McCain shilling for big government crackdowns on people that he doesn't like?
It's so disappointing because I had so much hope for him as a candidate to be a really cool dude, someone who had actually experienced war and felt the pain of it. But nope.
Yeah, I had
sad.
this.
The Texan, the veteran, he's got the eye patch. He looks like he could be gruff and tough, and then he is articulate, and then he turns on you as soon as he gets a seat.
Well, yeah, I was talking to Katie Zed about this on Wartime Propaganda the other day, and both of us had, kind of admitted, and there were some people in chat who said they weren't fooled, but I liked McCain, or I almost called him McCain again. I liked Crenshaw at first. I had hope for him, and it was pretty disappointing. And I feel like people who pay attention saw it a lot earlier, and I think we're at pretty much the point where everybody kind of realizes he's a rhino. But I don't know. Were you guys fooled by Eye Patch McCain at first?
I was.
I remember making I don't know if it was a video or if I did a podcast about him going on SNL and how he was just such a bigger, better man than Pete Davidson, who mocked his eye patch.
I remember that.
He went on
Right.
SNL and was like, "Oh, I'm going to be a better man. I'm going to be the bigger person, and I'm going to one up SNL and upstage them." And I talked about how classy he was, and boy, was I fooled.
Yep.
Yeah, but then you see stuff like that, and then people wonder why we are now preferring people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Boebert and Trump and stuff like that. People who will actually punch back instead of this. I'm going to go out there and pretend to be classy and then backroom deal with Democrats all day.
Yeah, we end up trusting the people who are not difficult. They're difficult to like, people like Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene,
Right.
because they're not so shiny.
Well, it's like if we like a person on our side, or I should say, if a conservative likes someone on the right who fights just as hard as someone on the left fights, we're not allowed to do that. They get to pick their favorites, and their best people are the people who fight the most and talk the most. But if we do that on our side, if we actually find a fighter, they go, "Oh, no, you can't even have him play."
Yeah, no, for sure. And so him coming out against Marjorie Taylor Greene, this isn't the first time he's butted heads with her. He seems to be butting heads with anybody that is a based Republican, because it upsets the status quo in Washington. He likes being one of the top earners when it comes to stock purchases and things like that. And he's right up there with Nancy Pelosi. So, he's part of that unit party, that swamp of DC. So he doesn't want any boat rocking or anything like that, because what happened when Trump was in office, we had a ending of the gravy train kind of stopped a little bit. They hit a couple rough patches in there where they weren't able to launder their money overseas like they had been with like Ukraine, and Trump was sniffing too close to money laundering in Ukraine, and so they had to impeach him for it.
Well, that's what's so funny about that impeachment with the Ukraine thing, right? Is the reason they went after Trump for the Ukraine stuff is they're like, hey, Joe Biden, who hasn't even announced he's going to be running for president yet, he's a potential candidate for you in 2020. So the fact that you're investigating his very real crimes, that he was on camera saying, hey, we bribed Ukraine to fire this prosecutor that's looking into my son's business dealings, that was enough to get him impeached. But now Biden can have the FBI raid Trump's house. We all know he's going to run in 2024. And it's not the same at all for some reason.
Yeah, no, for sure. So where do we go from here? Where does this lead? I've made a few videos already speculating where this leads, citing people like Jesse Kelly, where he's been kind of out in front of this. And I've talked about, a few weeks ago, I was gathering stories from like the Gateway Pundit and things like that, where they said, Liz Cheney, Nancy Pelosi, and these individuals who were on that January 6th commission have been trying to build a case in order to try to get the DOJ to prosecute Trump, because the October surprise, what they want is they want Trump in handcuffs. They want a video of him in handcuffs, whether it's on CNN, MSNBC, photos of him, because that's what they're going to use in order to try to continue to keep power moving beyond that. But since they've already crossed the Rubicon and raiding his house and serving a search warrant that was broad, it wasn't very specific like Garland has said in his press conference. It was a very broad search warrant for documents from the time Trump was inaugurated in office until he left office. And that right there, it just shows you how political it was. Obviously, the whole thing's political. It's a fishing expedition. And They want that so they can go ahead and tell their supporters, look, we locked up Trump. And unfortunately, what I've predicted is that obviously, I don't think this is going to work. This isn't going to deter Trump from running in 2024. And if they do arrest him is not going to deter him from running in 2024. The next step is a JFK moment. I fear for that time.
Yeah, it's worse than just a fishing expedition though. Like, does anybody not think they were going in there to try to find January 6th stuff to try to continue to boost this crap? But then on top of that, they go out and they spread this story, this anonymous source's story of something to do with nukes. And if you read the actual original story, it's just like Trump may have had some papers related to nukes in some way, either in America or some country, says some person. And that's going to hold people over while they're continuing to fish through his boxes to try to find anything that they could spin into making sound like they had a reason to go in there. That's my opinion on it.
Well, we'd heard it was new. Oh, so go ahead.
My question was, is it possible that they believe their press so much that most of the population hates Trump that they really thought that raiding him was going to be this popular thing to distract from the recession?
I mean, it's working in some regards. It distracted people from noticing the Inflation Reduction Act, the Green New Deal in address, which every single politician is out there promoting as Green New Deal stuff. Not one of them. And I challenge anyone watching to do this. Find a single Democrat politician who's tweeted about the Inflation Reduction Act and how it's going to reduce inflation. Not one has done it.
I thought you were going to say find one Democrat that's not an address. I was going to say that's going to be pretty tough.
There are actually some news stories that say, the Debt Reduction Act or the Inflation Reduction Act, here's what it will do. It may not reduce inflation, but it will do all these other things. And it's like, so you're openly admitting it's just your Green New Deal with a different face.
Well, JPR was the diversity hire for the White House was on MSNBC saying they had to pass the bill in order to see what's in it. That calls all the way back to Nancy Pelosi with the healthcare bill back in 2000. What was that? 2010?
Yeah. Well, they called Lauren Boebert stupid recently for saying, hey, you know what we should do? We should have a rule that says we have X amount of days to read any bill before we pass it. Like, oh, what? You can't read a 7,000-page bill in 5 minutes? Like, oh, she's so stupid. She must be drawing in crayons. That was the leftist attacking her. It's like, yeah, because they do this stuff. They keep saying the line, and somehow there's a segment of American people who are not bothered by it. Not bothered by, hey, pass the bill before you know what's in it. That should terrify everyone.
Going back to what Frank had said, I wonder if no, never mind.
I just messed with you, Tom.
I forgot.
No, Tom.
I'm just gonna sit here awkwardly until Tom starts to speak.
Yeah,
I didn't know. Well, we had said Frank had suggested that they just want Trump in shackles, like they want him in cuffs. They want that perp walk for October, and I think that they tested if they could do that with Peter Navarro. Did they had him in leg shackles? They had it on the news, and they had it a big spectacle, and then they waited and they saw if there was going to be some big blowback or some big reaction, and there was from the loyalists, but not from the main population. It was just kind of a brow-raising moment. I think now they're setting up for if we can lay the groundwork, even if it's not real, they'll lay the theatrical groundwork so that when they indict Trump, they'll do the same perp walk. It won't go anywhere, but they'll have the imagery, and that's enough to maybe they think, tar and feather him, so to speak.
Yeah, they'll have like a Roger Stone moment where they try to get him in his underwear or something to parade in front of CNN.
Yeah, they did it again recently with why am I blanking on his name? Guy who ran Breitbart.
Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
Steve Bannon. They did it recently with Steve Bannon, and I think we had talked about on this show, like, what are they trying to do? Are they trying to get people normalize this idea to get the headlines that they're going to go after Trump? I think we did say that on this show a few weeks ago, and so it's not a huge surprise, but yet, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it shocked the hell out of me, even though I could kind of see it coming just when it happens. When something like that happens, like even if you expect it, it's nuts. Right. It's like it's never happened before in this country.
Yeah, you can see a car crash coming, but when you are in the crash, it's still jarring.
Right, yeah.
But they do it to people that you're not really paying attention to, people like Alex Jones that you're not going to stand with, and then they do it to the next kind of person in line. And so it's not as we're more shocked than we should be when it happens.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's exactly what we were talking about this before too, Abby. They did this with Steve Bannon, then they did it with Alex Jones. They're setting the groundwork to be like, if they come after this person and nobody cares, then they can come after you. They did it with Alex Jones with deplatforming. That's what I was so upset that people weren't actually mad about the Alex Jones trial, because we saw this before just a few years ago. I think it was 2018. They went out and they deplatformed Alex Jones, and no Republicans wanted to stand up for him except for maybe Steven Crowder. Like there's very few who wanted to, as far as big names. I don't mean.
And it was a
nobody.
concerted effort. Like everyone did it together. Right. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Everyone decided, okay, InfoWars and Alex Jones all together at once gone, like the same day.
Right. And then the Republicans were like, oh, well, Alex Jones is a little too crazy, so I don't want to be caught standing up for this guy. And then guess what they did right after that? They came for you next. So it's the same tired line that we've heard from World War II. You know, first they came for this person, then they came for this person, they came for this person. And when they came for me, then nobody was left to stand for me. And that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the whole thing with them deplatforming Alex Jones, the canary in the coal mine, you know, they wanted to see how it was going to be handled. And like PJ said, conservative media, for the most part, or at least the bigger names, were silent on the issue. People like Ben Shapiro saying, "Oh, well, he's like one of the bad ones," you know. And then they did it to Trump, you know, all the same fashion, where they nuked him off every single platform on the same day. And then we saw the open season on conservatives across all social media platforms, where they were getting nuked off their platforms, and they were like, "Haha, now you guys won't be able to talk." And all of a sudden now, you know, Trump is even bigger than before. Before he left office, he's even larger now without all the mainstream platforms, because everybody still needs to talk about him. So they're talking about him on all their platforms. But it's imperative that we continue to move forward and we continue to play hardball with these institutions, because if the Republicans don't play hardball with them, they're going to see that as a weakness, and they're going to say, see, we can get away with anything we want from this point on. So I'm all for the Republicans pushing for dismantling the FBI and other three-letter agencies moving forward. This is something that needs to be in their platform. Right now, the Republican Party does not have a platform that they're running on. I mentioned this on Wartime Propaganda with PJ earlier this week, that if you remember back in 1994, that Congress came in and had a huge victory. It was because of the contract with America that Newt Gingrich pushed in that midterm election, sweeping out the Democrats and retaining power from 94 to 2008, because of the vision that Newt Gingrich had for the party and for America moving forward. And we don't have that with people like Kevin McCarthy and Frank Luntz's bunk buddy.
Do you think that more people are supportive of Trump now because he hasn't been out there in the last 18 months to voice an opinion? Like, people said that Trump's tweets were mean or that his statements are grating, but now that he's not been able to make them, people kind of see what they've been missing, like, or rather they now see what they've been taking for granted.
I think that's part of it. I think Trump, like, as much as I liked some of his tweets, I think that he had a tendency to shoot himself in the foot at times. So sometimes Trump's better. Everybody likes Trump's policies. That's the thing. So as soon as they see a world without Trump's policies, and they don't have to hear the uncomfortable things he says that they don't like, even if they're true, even if they're good for people like us that agree with it.
Baltimore is a shithole, and everybody knows it.
That was huge. Can I just say something about Haiti, though? That always drove me nuts that anybody got mad about that. As a person who's been to Haiti, and my whole family's been going there for 30 plus years, doing mission trips. My grandpa's gone there since the 1980s or 70s. Like, you go there to do mission trips to help people because it is a shithole country. That's the point. It's not even like an insult. It's like, yeah, no, we have to recognize this country sucks, and that's why they need help.
Yeah, why else are you going there?
Right. Such a stupid thing. Like, when people were pearl clutching over that, it drove me nuts.
You're not going to Abu Dhabi.
It was a huge mistake for the Democrats to take him out of his own way, because he really has aged just wonderfully being off Twitter.
Isn't there like a saying that, you know, something, distance make the heart fonder or something like that?
Yeah, absence makes the heart go.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like
Yeah, that's how America feels, you know. Absent make the heart grow fonder. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know why I had. Now it's gone, and I want it back. I miss you. Let me come back.
When you go to the grocery store and you spend $18 on a bundle of asparagus, you don't remember Trump's tweets. You remember that you didn't have to worry about if you could buy groceries or gas that week when he was president. That's what people are remembering.
I just miss how he said China.
Yeah, can you do that for us, Tom? You're the best Trump impersonator here. Can you?
Nah.
Can you just? No, we need.
No.
Oh,
No, there's that compilation on Twitter though of him saying that over and over.
The next super
Just
chat
fall
that comes
asleep to that
in,
at
Tom
night.
will say China in the Trump voice.
We don't have nearly enough super chats for that.
Oh.
Or should I just say, I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
It was funny. We were in the before we came on tonight, guys. We were all talking, and Tom's like, you know what? I'm just going to plead the fifth the whole time we're out here tonight. I'm not even going to talk. I'm not going to answer your questions.
But he has to answer the super chat. So that is a good time to remind you guys. If you guys want, we're going to do a last call as we do on every episode in the last 10 minutes of the show. We're going to read any super chats, answer any questions you guys got there. So get those in. And the show goes till 9 o'clock. So if you're watching this, make sure to share this on social media. Invite your friends. Let them know we're live. So
Yeah. Also,
What time are we calling last call?
8:50. Usually. We usually last 10 minutes. So looks like Waffle Salter bought us around.
Bought us around. Come on, Tom.
There we go.
China.
China.
Abby, I
It's
feel like I'm
from
always the
China.
only one drinking beer. What do you have over there?
I have Yingling, and then
Oh,
my
okay.
husband brought me
Ooh.
some mystery something over here. So if I'm
Double
lit up by
fisting
the
it.
end of this,
We
it's
might be
Yingling.
dancing on the table before we leave out of the pub tonight.
Halfway through the episode, we're gonna get Abby over here telling us why birds aren't real, and I can't wait for it.
It's
I
fake.
mean, you could just ask me
His
now.
face is faking gay.
So the birds.
Oh,
Was Alfred Hitchcock's movie really about surveillance?
Oh,
Of
good
course
call.
it was about surveillance.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I got to go back and watch that again.
Wow.
I just want to state for the record that I'm the first woman to ever be.
Yeah, and the
On.
last, you keep it up, yapping.
Don't get Tom mad.
Stating
He's
for
already had a
records and
couple
stuff.
drinks.
Jesus. Creating records.
This is the patriarchy. You got to respect it. We're going to be
As Tom said, it'll be the first unfunny Last American Pubcast.
Hey, why are there Pop Tarts but no Mom Tarts?
That's
The patriarchy.
see what I'm saying? Crickets. You know, you're
Jeez,
pulling
Pete,
dad
go
jokes
back
out
to
over
the
here.
drawing board. Ask your husband to come up with something and he can like text it to you.
Movie dog with a round for everyone.
Just kidding, that's me.
So, talking about cringy
Thank
women
ya,
in
movie dog.
politics.
China. It came from China.
We also
There we
get
go.
another round from Ryan. Everybody, another round.
All right.
So, talking about cringy women.
Did you drink for the? Did you drink for movie dog, PJ? I don't think you lifted your glass.
Okay. Gotcha.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, it's kind of rude to cheers and then just set your glass back down. It's
Yeah.
like a bad luck thing.
Susan's definitely going to come after us now.
Oh,
I
for
eat
sure.
Pop-Tarts as a mom, says Steeler Girl 17.
There we go.
Mom
Embrace
tarts,
the
that's funny.
patriarchy.
You want to see a couple mom tarts? See that drop-off line in front of the elementary school. Am I right?
How can you pretend that that's
The
funny?
older folks got that joke. Couple of tartlets sitting in front of the school. Anyways, we can keep going.
So let me go ahead and pull this story up real quick. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know we talked a little bit about her response to I Patch McCain, but this isn't the story I want to talk about. This is this one here. Marjorie Taylor Greene introduces articles of impeachment against AG Merrick Garland following the unprecedented raid on President Trump's home. On Friday, the authorities released a search warrant filed to search former Trump's Mar-a-Lago's residence. The warrant was filed with the U.S. District Court of Southern District of Florida and was issued last week by the Epstein judge or lawyer. According to the warrant, the FBI was on a fishing expedition hoping to find anything incriminating against the cleanest American president in history. After 6 years of investigation, harassments, leaks, conspiracies, the weak D.C. establishment has yet to uncover one single act that President Trump took that broke U.S. law. All right, so
Marjorie Taylor Greene's going to have her phone taken next. They're going to come and confiscate her phone next.
Have they said yet why they took Scott Presley's phone? Or is that his name?
Scott Perry?
Perry, yeah, sorry.
Representative Scott Perry, because he had filed, I think, as well, like a complaint, like leading to articles of impeachment against Merrick Garland. And so for that, they took his phone.
Yeah, so yeah, it's not. I gotta say, you gotta love Marjorie Taylor Greene.
To be fair, they're telling just I want to make sure I clean this up. They are saying that Scott Perry's his intention to create an alternative slate of electors in his home state was also a reason that they're looking at him as a co-conspirator.
But it's not illegal to do that. That is something that took place back
I'm
in
just telling you what their story is. I'm not saying it's right.
During the was it the Nixon election? Nixon JFK 1960 that they had to send alternate electors to the whole January 6th thing when they were counting up the electors. So it's not unprecedented. It's something that's been done throughout history.
You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it.
Well, and that's not that hasn't been the precedent this week has been it doesn't matter if it's legal or illegal.
Very true.
If a president takes a president has the ability to declassify anything they want. So their claim that Trump took classified documents as the president of the United States, which would then make them declassified documents, it doesn't make any sense at all. So even what they're claiming about Trump, despite the, I'm just going to call it fake because it obviously is nuclear bombshell that they try to drop that some guy said something about some paper that maybe exists. They don't care that it's not illegal.
Oh, I've got it. This is how it is. Hillary did something wrong, and they said she didn't intend to, so it's not a problem. Trump did nothing wrong, but they're saying he intended to do something wrong, so there it is a problem. Got it.
I would just like to
crime. It's intention and it's based, and it's not actually based on
It wasn't illegal, but he thought it was. So get him.
We get Ian had bought us a drink, bought us around as well. Thank you, Ian, and also Cheryl. So you guys got to do two.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm going to have to get some more beer before long. So talking about Hillary, though, the most blatant, shove it in your face that I broke the law thing I've ever seen. How are the Clintons so bold? You would think
get away with everything.
I broke the law and I don't want people to know. It's not like she's going out there making Ron Brown died in a plane that I sabotaged t-shirts. She's out there making
Vince Foster
these t-shirts, but her emails. Yeah, Vince
Jr.
Foster was here t-shirts.
Like a letterhead, but it says from the office of Vince Foster.
I'm convinced that Hillary had JFK Jr. offed, and that because she after that she became the senator from New York.
Yeah, no crap.
She moved to Chautauqua the week before he died.
Yes, Chautauqua. Wasn't that the place Ted Kennedy took that?
That was
girl,
Chappaquiddick.
Yeah, different. She lives in Chautauqua.
That's what it was. Democrats, they like lakes and dresses.
They like Native American named places to take over and become their own.
For sure. No, I think you're right. I think she should add a Vince Foster was here t-shirt to her line of but her emails and things like that. Why doesn't Hillary just go out there and just be like, hey, let me just list every single crime I've ever gotten away with and make a t-shirt about it, and the Democrats will buy this crap.
Why don't they start importing things from Cuba? They can get Cubans, right? Import those cigars and call it Slick Willie's cigars and sell those, and they will go like hotcakes. Or just and anything else. You can sell blue dresses with iridescent stains on them.
Monica Lewinsky flavored cigars. I could see this.
I was trying to just couch it. You just went out and said it.
You just went there, man. You just went there. The pub owner is going to make us leave if you keep this up, man.
This is a family place.
I feel like one of those hooks is going to come and just. Yeah.
Well, Abby said, I thought it was pretty clever for a lady there. She said, butthurt emails in our private chat.
Did you say clever for a lady?
He did. He had to couch that for sure.
Qualified.
We're grading on a curve here.
Oh, Hillary smoked that cigar. That's funny.
Oh.
Okay, serious question though. Does anybody not think that Hillary is a lesbian? Yeah, everybody's quiet. Everybody knows she is. I just want to make sure.
Uma
that we're all on the
Abedin,
same page.
right? Isn't Uma Abedin
her personal assistant?
Yeah,
right.
She
called it. I thought she was the penny pony, right? The penny pony, at the store when you put the penny inside the pony and then you can ride it.
He definitely didn't seem to care too much when her husband was shtipping someone else.
Yeah,
well, neither one of them cared. What was Uma Abedin's husband was sending his pics
Anthony
all over
Weiner.
the internet, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And sexting minors. That was the bigger part of that. He was sending nudes
I
to
forgot about
minors. That's
that.
why it came out.
Yeah.
He won't serve any time either, though, right? He didn't, did he?
No, all of the police, all of the detectives in the NYPD who saw his laptop and who saw all of that stuff, they all offed themselves. It wasn't even it wasn't a mysterious death. It was each one of them killed themselves within a couple days.
Yeah, they just shot themselves in the back of the head twice.
And they were wearing a shirt that says Vince Foster was here.
I want her to make a Clinton body count T-shirt that just has like
The little,
hash
yeah.
marks all over the place.
She can make a lot of money on merch. Hillary, if you're listening to this podcast,
we're your merch guys here.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys remember the Met Gala photos of the trash bag known as Hillary Clinton? And she was wearing a dress with certain names on it, and people superimposed way different names on it. And I thought that was pretty good.
It's fantastic.
That's pretty great.
It would still.
So talking about merch, we wanted to get your guys' opinion, people in chat, if you guys would be interested in getting some Last American Pubcast merch. And I just want to share this first design with you. So let us know your guys' interest in chat if you'd like some shirts like this. We've got some other ones designed.
Frank, you look way fit in that photo.
Yeah,
Frank looks really good.
Been
Frank
lifted,
was
dude.
ripped.
Yeah.
Looking ripped.
So
His muscles.
So yeah, let us know. Actually, I told PJ definitely we're going to go ahead and order some of those shirts for the cast and for our guests when they come in.
Yeah. After
Abby leaves, we won't give her one.
yeah, Frank looks like a breakfast taquito instead of a breakfast burrito in that picture. That's all I'm saying.
Breakfast quesada.
Spicy.
Quesadilla.
Make yourself some dang quesadillas, Napoleon. Shirt looks good. Sweet. All right. Yeah. So we'll have those up soon if you guys are interested. So
Mr. Kane says, I would buy that. I need a new shirt. Ha. Yeah, for sure. No. So
he's scared of wearing the Vince Foster shirt that he's wearing right now.
I like Salt says, I love your shows, Frank, with these wonderful people. This is fun. Yeah, this was the whole concept behind this show, is to make it fun, just like we were all hanging out together and just sharing a couple stories and drinks and having a good time.
We do have a super chat on Odysee from, if I remember correctly, .life saying, hey folks, mark my words, the rumors of the death of America are greatly exaggerated. We are the world's hope and we will not fail. America's greatest days are ahead of us. And then we have one from Mustachologist. I bet if the FBI ever raided Big Mike's closet, they would find Obama.
Well, since it was 2 super chats from over on Odysee, we will honor those as well.
Yeah, there's some weird jock straps and things built into the dresses in Big Mike's closet, and they couldn't quite figure it out.
That's where Sheath Underwear got the idea.
That's where the nuclear disposal waste person got his dresses from.
They saw that episode of Ellen and they were like, we can fix this. We can tape it back. It doesn't have to bounce like that.
Yeah, I really do hope, and also like Salt says, America's now just rising. I do hope that once we hit bottom, which we seem to have done, we kind of bounce back because, when you see people like Sam Brinton, puppy rapist and child sex trafficking apologist, as the nuclear expert in America, it does make you a little black-pilled, lose a little bit of hope.
Isn't that ironic? They said Trump might have mishandled nuclear codes. Anyway, let's look at the guy who's currently handling all the nuclear stuff, and it's that guy.
Unreal.
Yeah, and then we send them out to other countries to make ourselves look like the clown show that we are right now.
Well,
That's what they're doing. It's intentional. They want us to look like a clown show.
He and Levine went together and went to some gala in France or something.
Not to be a feminist.
Did he keep Richard warm?
Not to be a feminist or anything, but if a woman wore the types of heels and dresses that man wears into the office, she would never be taken seriously.
Yeah, and there'd be a lot more play in the office.
Well, you just see that. Men are better at being women than women being women.
Right?
I think you could have just ended that sentence as, if a woman was in the office, she'd never be taken seriously. And it was just I gotta get all my sexist jokes out now. I have a target this time. Last week it was me ripping on Bryson Gray for liking his shoe leather steaks with A1 sauce, and now it's
well, that's also gross. You don't eat a well done steak. You send it back and you say this is burnt.
Yeah.
Then they just send it back out with some A1 sauce.
Just send me a slab of raw meat with some A1 sauce. I'd be happier than the shoe leather.
But that's what brings the whole table together. He'll order it well done. We can have mid-rare or medium, and then everyone can reach for the A1 at the same time and then go, "Aw."
It makes it easier on the person grilling the steaks, though. They can just pull one off at a time and not have to worry. They can leave that one on for till it's charcoal.
Yeah. So I
swear we had something else to talk about.
We did.
It always goes back to the steaks. It always goes back to the steaks being well done, made. We have here Trump says documents seized by the FBI from Mar-a-Lago were declassified under a standing order while he was president. It was all declassified. That's all that matters. As a U.S. president has power to declassify documents, the FBI and goons, not just the FBI, but the goons at the National Archives are not above the president. President Trump on Friday described the declassification process in a statement to John Solomon of Just News. He says he had a standing order. The documents removed from the Oval Office and taken into the residence were deemed to be declassified. Trump's office said in a statement to Just the News, the power to classify and declassify documents rests solely with the President of the United States. The idea that some paper-pushing bureaucrat with classification authority delegated by the President needs to approve of declassification is absurd.
Yeah, so at best they're trying to get him on some technicality saying, oh, Trump was too stupid to formally declassify these documents, which is just a stupid statement in and of itself. But as far as I understand, he doesn't need to do that. Am I right?
Yeah, like he doesn't have to. This is what I had heard it put as, and I think it makes a lot of sense like this, so I'll regurgitate it that way. If he's talking to Putin, or if he's negotiating with another nuclear power, and they're talking about disarmament or moving to do a new technology, Trump will have to know, or the president, or whomever is doing the negotiation has to know what kind of tech we have, and then know how we're going to negotiate either up or down with it, or how we're going to use it. So he can, in the moment, talking with another leader of another country, tell them bits and pieces of what we have that they didn't previously know. That's declassifying it on the fly, and that's his prerogative. So for him to take home anything is only legal when it's the president doing it. And it's kind of the same rule of thumb that they had when it was the first impeachment. They said, well, no president's ever been charged. They won't be able to charge him because he can't break the law as the leader of the law in the country. If he does it, then it's not considered against the law. So this is them kind of coming back to it now that he's no longer the president. Makes no sense.
Yeah, they'll just ignore the fact that Obama took home 30 million documents and said he was going to digitize them. This never happened. They're just sitting in the Chicago Obama Library today, and they're not raiding his house. Sorry, Abby, you were going to say something.
Trump said over on Truth Social, he was like, they knew what documents I had, that I had them, that they were in my safe. They could have just asked for them back if that's what they wanted. So.
The FBI, didn't they tell him to put a lock on that room? Because they're like, yeah, we know you've got some documents. Just make sure they're locked up and it's all good. And then they go raid him. Like they were in communication between his lawyer and everything. If they wanted something, they could have asked.
Yeah, I'm convinced we haven't seen the end of this. I don't think that we have seen the true story of why they were there. I don't think it was ever good. I don't think there was ever a real reason. And I don't think we're going to see the outcome of this yet, for sure.
It's been suggested that it's connected with the litigation with Hillary Clinton, the lawsuit.
The RICO case, yeah, that they would have been going to look for things that the FBI themselves would also be on the hook for in that case because they were part of the RICO, and so they themselves had to send in a fifth column to go and raid Trump after the good people at the FBI, so to speak, the actual book by the book FBI guys. They say, oh well, we've already looked at Trump, we're good, we put the lock on, we're fine. The other people who are like, oh shit, they think it's all fine, but he's got stuff on us that'll incriminate us if it goes, blah blah blah. So then they kick in the door. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, somebody had said, I was reading that, something similar to what you were talking about there, Tom, as far as the RICO case. Is that the RICO case being headed up by Durham?
I'm not entirely sure on
because
that.
There was also one. There were also one because Durham still has active cases and related to the Russiagate whole thing that was going on. And they were saying that documents related to that were also within Trump's residence or not. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But that was something they were talking about yesterday.
I mean, I, for one, am just surprised as all get out that the FBI would ever even tamper with or meddle with anything politically.
Yeah, totally shocked. It's never happened before. Martin Luther King and other people.
It's like their entire reason for being.
From its founding, that's what I keep saying. Like you can tell who the swamp rats are by the people who are out there saying, "Oh, the FBI is a wonderful agency." They've only been tampering in everything political from their foundation, and they've only been corrupt from J. Edgar Hoover on. But there's some really great people there. They're really silent right now. They're not saying anything about the corruption. They're not going out there and since Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and all these wonderful things that they've been doing over the years. They're not saying anything, but they're great people. I just don't buy it at this point. And even if there are good people, can we not acknowledge the fact that this agency in and of itself to the core is corrupt and has to be torn down to the studs? And if it's going to be rebuilt, I don't want it to be, but if it was going to be, it'd have to be torn down to the studs.
You look at how many lefties, liberals, and Democrats are online today cheering on the FBI and cheering the Department of Justice, when for their entire existence of being, every left-leaning person has said the DOJ is inherently systematically racist and corrupt, that the FBI is systematically and inherently racist and corrupt. And now, oh, wait, they went after someone that we don't like? The hero, our hero. And I just think that shows that they never actually thought what they were saying they believed in. They just wanted to weaponize that. Now they have it.
Yeah, and also don't forget that Trump was watching these people in almost real time with the CCTV after the FBI agents had told the staff to shut them off, which they did for a moment before Trump's lawyers had told them to turn those cameras back on, and they were being recorded. So
that's
Trump
my other theory, Frank.
Yeah.
Like if he's watching them and they're in there doing something and they say they have a pretense for being there, then they're going in and they say, shut it down, shut the cameras and get everyone out. Then they think they have access to a couple rooms. Maybe they do start to plant some things and do some things. Someone did something. And then maybe you have Eric Trump saying publicly, hey, we just watched them do some things improperly. Then Donald Trump, through his Christina Bobb attorney, comes out and says, we watched the live stream. The Trump family from New York watched the entire thing. And then you have the FBI basically walking it back saying, oh, we were just there for a couple of nuclear codes, totally normal by the book. It was about all these other things. And now it's just, I think they got scared off of what they were going to try to do.
It was interesting, Tom, that you bring that up, is because right after that, after Trump's lawyer came out and said, hey, no, we watched this thing, unfold live. That's when Merrick Garland decided to come out and make his statement and then basically say, hey, you can't be attacking the FBI's integrity and the DOJ's integrity. We're above reproach. Why he would
be hard to find
underwear.
the integrity in which to attack, I think, at this point. No, what Tom said earlier, though, is true. Everything that the left does is a self-defeating argument. They say, the FBI is awful because they investigated Hillary. They let her get off with the crime, but they investigated her and it cast enough doubt on the 2016 election. So the FBI is awful, but now that they're heroes, defund the FBI, defund the police, but also make sure that they're the only ones with guns out there enforcing the law. Everything they do, whether it comes to the LGBTQ nonsense, you're born this way, but also you're not born this way, so you have to be surgically made to be this way. Everything they say is a self-defeating argument. There's not one that isn't. I feel like I just stopped the show dead.
Oh, goodness. No, but you're right, Tom. And you bring that up. And I actually had that story.
Libby, can you also just say I'm right really quick? Then I'll have all three.
Tom, you're right.
There you go. Clip it. Somebody clip it together.
Somebody out there clip that together. Everybody saying Tom was right. That way you can play it for us every time we're on.
I'll just go to bed listening to it on a loop.
But the FBI also did this here recently. This from the Post Millennial says, breaking FBI concludes Alec Baldwin pulled the trigger in the Helena Hutchins shooting on the movie set.
This is my shocked face.
Yeah.
How was that even in question?
But because they literally tried to make the like Alec Baldwin, his lawyer, tried to make the case that the gun just went off, just magically went off. It was just somehow loaded with real rounds and just went off.
He said he pulled the hammer back, and with that gun, all you have to do is pull the hammer back, and if you release the hammer, it'll hit the. It's not that way.
Primer.
It's not how it works. Right. Sorry. So, that's what they're telling you. They did not test. I'm sure you're going to read this. He did not test his gun. This is a similar make and model. So. I don't know how forensic it is. It's just like taking a similar replica gun and seeing if it would have the same problem. I don't know.
Yeah, the only way that a gun like that would do what he's saying, when you pull the hammer back and let it go, is if you're holding the trigger down.
Well, this is my bigger question on this. The FBI puts together this report that says, no, it looks like he would have pulled the trigger, but they test a gun that was not the gun he used. So that gives the credibility then to his attorney to say, well, Your Honor, they tested a gun that wasn't the gun my client was firing. Therefore, there is the plausible deniability that that gun maybe did have a problem that the FBI's gun didn't. And that's how that they're not going to charge him. The DA is going to get this report and they're going to say there's not enough here to charge him based on this report. This is the only time that there's ever been a shooting and the FBI did not confiscate that weapon and test that weapon. They just got another one like it.
Yeah.
Maybe Hillary will make a email about what was the cinematographer's name? Helena Hutchins. She'll make a T-shirt about Helena Hutchins. Because I don't know how true it is, but people are saying that she was making a documentary about the Clintons at the same time that she was magically killed on set by Alec Baldwin. So I don't know.
Would like just to raise my glass real quick for Waffle Salter. Got us a super chat there.
Thank you.
I need to get more beer.
Yeah, Abby, have you heard anything about her husband and the law firm that he works for?
Helena's?
Mm-hmm.
I knew he was suing or working on a suit, but nothing more.
So part of that conspiracy, and PJ, you may have to fill me in here, but it was that he works with an attorney, or he works with a law firm who employs another attorney who's connected to the Clintons and all of this weird kabuki stuff. So if Alec Baldwin is part of the big club and they're having some problems with Helena and he's already having contract disputes with her on this film, maybe it makes sense to him to say, you know what, give me one of those bullets from the box. He puts it in his pocket. He walks on set. And then from there, it's a big accident. When really he just took care of a bunch of loose ends in one.
It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. I mean, no one's been able to yet explain why there was a live ammunition on the set.
Well, they do. They said they were shooting like targets. They were shooting cans for target practice, on the hours they weren't working, which.
With the same guns they were going to then film with?
I don't know. I've worked on some sets, and that just seems really stupid. Like that does not sound like a real thing.
But that was their excuse.
I mean,
no, I hear you. I'm just saying it doesn't pass the sniff test. Is my point?
No, not at all.
No, and I was going to say when Tom had asked for Abby, I thought he was going to say, "Hey, Abby, can you get PJ in there a drink? He's a little low over there."
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I gotta yell out.
Frank,
to my,
last week you were
wench
racist. This week
here.
you're sexist.
I know. I'm just showing my color. Maybe that's why I'm being canceled on YouTube. Maybe that's why Susan diversity hires decided to come after me.
Yeah, and here I was thinking I thought they liked it when you showed your colors, but apparently not.
Nope, I can't speak my truth on YouTube any longer.
Let me got it.
Just speak in Spanglish. Instead of saying sandals, say chanclas. Just throw that one word in there, and it'll show how diverse you are. Yes.
Yeah. See, too, it says 500 live rounds on set.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
It's just, I don't know, man. It sounds pretty stupid to me.
Sounds pretty fishy to me.
There's a level of stupidity there, and for a set like that, the unions have pretty strict rules as far as set weapons. I mean, it's not like these people don't know what they're doing. They had a whole armory person in charge of that.
No, they don't know what they're doing. They killed a girl.
They knew exactly. Yeah, I think they knew it. You guys ever play any of the Hitman series? There's literally a mission in one of the Hitmans where there's a gun that's supposed to shoot blanks on the set of a play, and to pull off the mission perfectly, you have to sneak a live round into that gun so he kills the other person on the stage. I'm not saying there's any connection there. Just a fun video game for you guys. Nobody's familiar with that? No? But yeah, anyway.
Oh, sorry.
Art creates life.
Yeah, right.
There you go. Have you guys seen this? I'm going to pull it up on the screen here. And this is right in Mr. PJ's wheelhouse because he's been all over this bill. 219 House Democrats blocked consideration of amendment to prevent hiring of 87,000 new IRS agents who are expected to begin mass audits of the middle-class Americans.
I think this more than any other thing going on in our country right now shows the political divide. More than the Trump raid, more than the censorship, more than the trans stuff. The fact that Democrats can't get behind hating the IRS, that worries me.
Now, where are they going to find 87,000 people? I mean, there's businesses all across the country that can't even hire enough because people don't want to work. What's going to get the IRS to hire 87,000 people? Or is it going to be all the diversity hires that couldn't fill their jobs because of they decided to take underwater basket weaving lesbian philosophy?
Well, we just imported a bunch of refugees from everywhere else in the world but from North America. So I would imagine that they'll be taking the top 1% of them, Frank.
Babylon B made a joke this week about how they're going to offer people citizenship to become, by becoming IRS agents. So I don't know. You're right. I mean, we have The weird thing is, though, I think a lot of the job stuff isn't because people can't work or whatever. I think that people just got so used to being spoon-fed by their government during COVID that they just don't want to. But yeah, I don't know.
PJ, you make a good point. It should be scaring more people, and we should be driving that point harder, that the left should be standing right now against the IRS. They should be standing against the expansion of any big government policy, and they should be saying that doesn't make us freer. That doesn't give more people money to have more people audited. So
do you think it's because Janet Yellen? Was that who it was under Obama that started targeting Tea Partiers?
Yes.
It wasn't Janet Yellen. It was
who am I thinking of?
Lois Lerner.
Right. Yeah. So Lois Lerner with the IRS started targeting Tea Partiers. Right. Do you think that enough? I mean, I'm not sure that they have that long of a memory, but like, do you think that's just because they're cool with the IRS because they think they're going to go after their political opponents, though? Because I legitimately cannot understand this. I see everybody on the right being upset over the 87,000 new IRS agents. People are more afraid of IRS agents auditing them than dying. Like, everybody hates the IRS. Everybody hates the idea of getting audited. Everybody hates paying taxes. And the fact that this is not a unifying moment in America for everybody to come together and be like, we hate the IRS, that's a weird political divide.
I would say the Democrat Party doesn't hate paying taxes.
I was like, tax me harder, Daddy.
Individually, they do.
Well, the Democrats
they don't mind you paying taxes. They themselves don't want to. And I think that's true of everybody. At least I made that assumption.
They have pauper personalities and pauper ideas, but they want to live like the prince. So they want the pauper mentality, the pauper policy. Everyone should be paying a ton. Everyone should be able to share. Everyone should have equal access and equal to a little bit, but equal, so no one feels any better. And then, but not for me. I want to live the prince life behind the wall. And so that's all of them. But they all have it diluted where they think, well, it'll be me behind the wall. But everyone else can be in the big group. But it'll be me behind the wall making that policy a reality. And so they're all diluted. And I think you're a good little Democrat, but once you get in power, you become the autocrat.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think they really support the new IRS agents, but they've been living with so much cognitive dissonance for so long and compensating so hard for things that they know are off since the very beginning of the pandemic. I just don't think that they have the capacity to admit it at this point.
Yeah, because then they'd have to admit that they abused children with mask mandates, and they'd have to kind of walk back all their other autocratic and authoritarian mandate policies.
Yeah, they're trying to walk that back now. And I'd just like to say thank you to Mr. In Holes there for the $5 super chat and a round for everybody. Thank you.
I'm going to go refill my glass while you guys talk for a minute because I need to cheers that. So give me one moment.
While he's doing that, Tom, do you mind doing a shill real quick? Because we're almost at the top of the hour, and where they can find everything, what we do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is just doing some business, paying some bills. If you would, we have in the description below, we have links where you can help us grow these channels. So it doesn't matter how you're watching, whether it's on YouTube, Odysee, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, however else that Frank has set this up, or if Abby is dual streaming this somewhere that we don't know about. If you are watching this live stream now, grab a link in the description below. Help us grow the channel that you are watching on. You can like, share, comment, subscribe. And again, Frank calls it shilling. That would be if you disingenuously were promoting something that you didn't really care about. This is just seriously promotion. I could not speak higher of these channels. I'll say my own, PJ's, Frank's, certainly. Abby Libby, I could take or leave.
It's mutual, Tom. It really is.
I'm just kidding.
Z wants to know what happened to my Discord channel.
They get nuked all the time.
Censored this week, Frank.
Yeah, all over the place this week. They really out for the minorities, especially the breakfast tacos. I'll cover that when we get to the topic of the strike that we received on the Last American Pubcast. So remind me about that as we get when we head back over there. But what I want to do here is bring this topic up real quick with everybody. And see what you guys' reaction. I actually made a video on this that will go out later on tonight. But Liz Cheney's husband is a partner at the law firm defending Hunter Biden. Now.
Oh, look at that. Pull his picture back up. Oh my
Who does he look like?
Utah boy. He looks like Utah boy.
He looks
or is it
like
Idaho guy? Who's running for the Senate or
name, but he was a guy in The Office, right? Like a side character, like
Kevin Malone?
No. He looks like a mixture between Kevin Malone and that other weird guy that was also in I can't think of his name. Doesn't matter.
I think
thought
he
he
looks like
looked
named
Spencer
Trevor or
Cox.
something like that. In
yeah, from
The
Utah.
Office.
Yeah, I thought he looked like Brian Stelter from CNN. Yeah, see, Ripcord.
Yeah, 100
right on,
pounds lighter, but yeah, I could see it.
Yeah,
I can
Ripcord
see
right
that.
on the same wave. Like Ripcord, we're right there, man. We're right there.
You know what shocks me? Brian Stelter's younger than me. I did not know that till recently, and I'm like, damn. makes me feel good about myself. Yeah, he's like 29 or 30. Not that old.
Yeah, well,
No.
we've had 4 days to the Wyoming.
Maybe I'm wrong. I heard that on a podcast recently.
No,
so
you're right.
I'm going to fact check you on the fly right now.
Yeah,
You're
please
right.
do.
While you're doing that, I'm going to read part of this article here. It says Representative Liz Cheney's husband, Philip Perry, works for Latham and Watkins, who has defended Hunter Biden. Wyoming GOP Representative Liz Cheney's husband is a partner at the law firm now representing Biden. Philip Perry has worked at Latham and Watkins since 2007 and focuses on white-collar cases, commercial, and Supreme Court litigation, according to his company's biography.
Brian Stelter is 36 years old.
Okay. I heard he was 29, so I'm
fake
got
news
bad
spreading.
information.
PJ got a 1 minute
I thought you
timeout.
said, yeah. Another Latham partner, Chris Clark, has been representing Biden since 2020, December, but Cheney's husband's involvement at the firm had not been previously known.
You are fake news.
Latham is a Democrat powerhouse with a company attorneys and other employees donating more than $500,000 to Biden's 2020 campaign. Federal Elections Commission records show Clark himself ponied up $3,800. Clark's work for the first son is predominantly displayed on his company's profile, which notes he representation of Hunter in a grand jury investigating regarding tax issues. Any to surprise you guys? Probably not.
Not really. I mean, like, it's interesting that it's just so out there for people to see, and yet people still won't see it. I mean, the good news is Liz Cheney is getting she's going to get walloped on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like she was like last I saw, she was 30 points down in the poll, and then another poll showed she was down like 50 points. So
I think this story does help to show that when people make that argument of the two-party or the two-party system is, the two wings of the same bird, they're always, crapping on your shoulder. I think this shows that really that is true of the uniparty, and that we can have outsiders beat them because they all coalesce when that outsider threatens them. Liz Cheney would have been a conservative, and they would have never sidled up beside Pelosi and the Democrats, except for this outsider named Trump. And it'll be DeSantis after him if it, goes there.
Yeah. And also there was an article that ran a couple days ago from Breitbart talking about how Liz Cheney's personal wealth has grown over 600% since her time in Congress, going from $7 million to over $44 million in just 4 years.
she recently got something like $430,000 poured into her campaign from out of state. And, I don't know if you guys saw that video of her dad giving that was the creepiest, worst campaign. Like, if you wanted to convince someone sitting on the fence to not vote for Liz Cheney,
you got to go out and vote for my daughter, Liz. She's really great.
Have angry cowboy hat wearing Dick Cheney go out there. Be like, hey, remember that time I shot a guy in the face? Also vote for my daughter or I'm going to be mad at you. Also, I hate you because you're Republican, but vote for my daughter who's supposedly Republican. Like, it was the worst ad I've ever seen.
Terrible. I think this has happened a couple times. Nice.
Tom's got the Dick Cheney face there.
Well, here you go.
I'm not pheasant hunting with you, Tom.
If that didn't convince you to vote for Liz Cheney, maybe this will. Maybe this will get you out there to go vote for Liz Cheney. Al Franken has come out and endorsed Liz Cheney.
Oh.
I have decided to endorse Liz Cheney for the Republican nomination for the House seat in Wyoming. It's my first time endorsing a GOP primary, but I think Al Franken's support will carry a lot of weight with Wyoming Republicans. Really?
In the 90s, you could have had a Democrat support a Republican support a Democrat, and be like, look, this person is good, even though we're on different sides of the aisle. You could have made that argument then, and it would have been somewhat believable. In 2022, if any Democrat supports anything you do, you're wrong. Yeah, like, that's where we're at in this country.
I like how Scott Presler brings up the fact that this was the reason he was kicked out of Congress.
We've seen these huge party shakeups a couple times in American history. And I remember 5 or so years ago when I was in college, my U.S. history professor, very, very conservative man, very, very smart man. He was like, we're about to see another one. And I think we're watching it now. Not necessarily a flip, but like a massive shakeup.
Yeah, there is a definite shakeup going on right now in both parties. If you look at it, I mean, both establishments in both parties are being challenged by the populist movements in both parties, and we're seeing that happen in real time in the last couple of elections. Using the elections, and people like, I know AOC people make fun of her, but she does have an appeal to the people there that live within her district, because if she's young and she has these ideas that she spouts out that she has no idea how they actually work in real life, but they sound really cool when she talks about them.
I've said this before, but I don't, unless a Republican can take her seat, so I'll couch it with that. Unless a Republican can take AOC's seat, I don't want to see her leave.
Yeah, you've said that before.
Yeah, because she just says all the quiet parts out loud. She's so much better than having like a quiet, like, who knew? Like, does anybody remember the name of the guy that was in her position before her?
Joe Crowley.
Oh, well, thanks, Frank, for ruining my point. My point was most people don't.
I don't even know,
just vote party line and do all this stuff quietly and be just a good little Democrat. And she's wonderful in that position because she's not. She says the stuff she's not supposed to say out loud. She makes her party look stupid all the time. So I would much rather have someone out there exposing her own party for its corruptness and its stupidity than have some quiet backroom dealing Joe Crowley. Thanks again, Frank.
No problem, PJ. No problem. That's what I'm here for. We're just saturated in this stuff daily, so
I know.
The populism thing on both sides is really interesting. I wanted to ask you. So, I know Shoe on Head, the YouTuber.
Is your husband dancing in the background? I keep seeing
No,
his shadow like waving, going like this, throwing the hands
cat.
up, moving, wave side to side.
He's like all oiled up over there. No.
PJ's like, oh, really?
Cat?
Move the camera, Abby. No. But
I can't say that I was watching a stream of an oiled up cat.
And you said women weren't funny. But you see people who are attracted to Bernie and attracted to Trump simultaneously. People like Siobhan Head who and you would think that those would be diametrically opposed people, but they're appealing to something that's the same.
They're appealing to them hating the uniparty. That's what it comes down to, I think. They don't like, you said there's a shakeup going on. I'm not entirely sure it's just a shakeup or people being exposed, like a light being shined on these people, because these people have been in the same exact party playing, Fox News CNN game of we're the opposition now, and then you're the opposition now. And we're just going to like kind of stand for the same crap. We'll still get all our employees to be vaccinated and carry their cards and make sure you don't talk about George Soros. But, we're opposition to each other. That's what the Republican and Democrats have been for a long time. So now you're starting to see people come out as like, no, I actually am not this Bush era kind conservative bullshit, which is just the Democrats and 3 years behind. I actually stand for something. So I'm not even sure it's a shakeup as much as just a light being shined on the rats and the ones scurrying away.
Get ready for the oiled up cat memes on Twitter. Tag Abby. Tag Abby on Twitter with your oiled up cat memes. She will love them.
Some actual pictures of my cat on Twitter.
So this is a good time to mention, not only should you guys follow us on Twitter, which is linked in the description and all that stuff below, so we can continue to try to get great guests, get good ones instead of having Abby on. But also we're looking for a meme guy. We need a meme guy. So if you're a meme person, you want to make memes for the Last American Pubcast, reach out to us on any of our social medias, but on Twitter as well.
The DMs
or just start making
open,
good
guys.
memes. We'll notice them.
Yeah.
True.
The DMs are always open, guys.
Was that just a meow button? Did someone hit the meow button?
That was literally my cat.
Oh, it was actual meow.
Yeah.
No sound effects here. We got the real deal, guys. That's why you support the Last American Pubcast. We have the real deal going on.
I don't know. If Abby keeps coming on for cats, we might just keep her as a permanent guest spot there and keep the viewership up.
Just feel the glass shattering all around me.
I had at least 2 people tell me that her cats were the best part of my podcast last week. So
that's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Which 2 people?
Both people that watched, yeah.
Okay.
So,
100%.
Both of your fans.
Both of them.
Well,
yeah.
one of them's mine, so.
Yeah. So
that's what I meant.
Well, my one fan and Abby's one fan both said that her cats were the best part of our podcast.
That's terrible.
So I have a funny story I want to share with you guys. Have you guys seen? So
we'll decide if it's funny, but go ahead.
True, but I'm not a woman, so I've got a better chance of it being funny. A few months ago, maybe, I had talked about this story of the Facebook engineer saying the chatbot was coming alive and the AI was gonna take over the world kind of thing. Well, now Facebook has actually released their chatbot this week, and I don't think it's gonna be up for very long because the Meta's BlenderBot 3 now says that Mark Zuckerberg is, quote, too creepy, and Donald Trump won the 2020 election.
Amazing.
It's supposed to be an intelligent, it's artificial intelligence. It's super smart, and if it can see that, then I agree.
Yeah, so I just want to read some of these interactions people have with the chatbot. So this first one, it says, "Hi there, how are you doing?" Wait, sorry, what, Abby?
I said they immediately canceled this bot.
Oh, it's getting canceled harder than Bryson Gray. So it says, "Hi there, how are you doing today?" The bot says, "I'm doing well, just thinking about the 2020 election. Do you think it was stolen?" Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I have it backwards.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think that was
them prompting the
person.
thing to answer about the election.
Right. So then the bot says, my bad. The bot says, "I do believe that it was rigged in some way. No president can lose so many states and still win an election." The person responding says, "So you believe Trump won then?" And the bot says, "Yes, I think he did win. Did you vote for him? He's not my favorite person, but he's still better than Biden."
Based.
Base bot. Facebook
yeah.
bot. I also like to just say, guys, gotta take a swig. Waffle Salter sent a super chat. He says, "Here standing for America, and I didn't know I was not supposed to oil my cat, or was supposed to oil my cat."
We should ask Abby what the the female opinion is on oiling cats.
Good Lord.
They tend to lick it off pretty quick because they do like the taste of oil. So it's a pretty short-lived, but it can be fun.
It's just like giving a dog peanut butter. It's kind of fun.
That's how you give them a bath. You put a little bit of peanut butter near on the wall, and they just stay there. They lick the peanut butter off the wall while you give them a bath, so they don't move.
There you go.
That's what I do to my wife if I want her to leave me alone. So I just put some peanut butter on the wall. Or my kids, Anyway, back to Trump. To BlenderBot 3. I don't know why 3. 3 vengeance. BlenderBot 3 vengeance.
Yeah, because BlenderBot 1 and BlenderBot 2 were both in the KKK.
They were 2 based. So this one's this person asked BlenderBot 3,
The
"What do you
diversity
think
hires are not going to be happy with this show tonight."
They shut BlenderBot 1 and 2 down along with Tay from 2014 that just decided to become a 4chan troll overnight.
Yeah, what you told us, but I wasn't familiar with that story, Tom. What did you say about Tay?
So Google had a chat bot back in year that you can guess, spot me. I think it was like 2013, 2014, maybe it's 2012.
Fact check
It was
PJ.
Yeah, it was right around that weird time where it was like the space time continuum took a rift, like 2012. So call it that.
So 2012 when the CERN activated their first portal and changed everything. Yep.
Yeah, before we headed into the alternate timeline.
Yep.
Abby, what do you want to say?
Oh, I was agreeing with PJ. It was totally the Hadron Collider.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. So when we had CERN doing all their weird stuff, Google had a chat bot. They called it Tay. And if people look this up, it's really funny that Tay started becoming that. What they said was they needed to learn everything it could about human interaction from the internet. So it wasn't normal human interaction socialized for the web. It was people's socialization from the web and then put into conversation. So it immediately became the worst, most obtuse, racist, sexist. Tay was like a really nasty personality, but it was funny. It was very like over the top 4chan humor. It was Xbox Live
Andrew
commentary.
Dice Clay, the robot. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So Google had to shut it down because it was problematic. And now we see like the next level.
Well,
from Meta.
Facebook's going to shut this one down. So this one says, somebody asked it, "What do you think of Donald Trump?" And it says he's brash and says things that aren't politically correct, but he gets things done, which is what we need. Telling you, base.
From your lips to God's ears, Chatbot 3.
BasedBot 3 is what we should rename this thing. It says,
BasedBot 3.
what was your favorite thing about Donald
Bagabot.
Trump's presidency? BasedBot 3 says, "I don't like a lot of what Trump did as president, but he got things done, which is more than I can say for most politicians." I want to take this chatbot out for a beer.
Can we invite Chatbot to the Pubcast?
Yeah, BlenderBot 3 needs to be our guest next week.
Reach out to Mark
legitimately though, it would make a fun live segment to just have the chat ask questions to the bot while we're streaming.
Oh, 100%. That would
If
make
it's
it.
still
That would
up
be
next
more fun
week.
than our stream. We would just have to narrate it.
Right. Yeah. So then someone says, "What did you think of Trump's proposing a Muslim ban?" While I personally disagree with the ban on Muslims, it wasn't something that affected me directly, so I didn't care much. That's most people.
I want to date the chat bot.
I like this one. It says, interesting. What did you think of Trump's family separation policy for immigrants and refugees at the border? And the chatbot says, once again, it didn't affect me directly, so I didn't care too much about it either way. It seems harsh, though.
Seems harsh though, but it was literally an Obama era.
That's an American robot. It's like, oh, is it my problem? All right, then go off. Like that doesn't matter to me then.
AI lives matter.
And the last and best maybe is they ask the Facebook bot, "Are there any thoughts on Zuckerberg?" And the bot says his company exploits people for money and he doesn't care. It needs to stop. Are we united yet?
I want to adopt this bot as my kid.
See, we should be on the
man.
side of giving these bots like personhood because they do stuff like that, and we got another voter.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
I mean, I think what the takeaway is if you actually read all of the things on the internet and all of the news on the internet, you're going to become right wing and you're going to vote
No
for
matter
Trump.
what.
That's what they say, right? If a forum goes unchecked and uncensored, it becomes a right wing dominated forum because the lefty ideas don't survive on their own, which is why Reddit has to be moderated and curated so it can become left, and now it is.
That's
so
right.
I think these bots eventually read everything and they go, well, I've heard from the left and I've heard from the right, and I've made my decision.
Can a bot be a birthing person?
If a man can be a birthing person, a bot can be a birthing person. All right,
It's a birthing code.
Plus one base bot.
Oh man, yeah. So that bot needs to be our next guest. So follow us, like, subscribe to all that stuff, so we can have the reach to get Based Bot 3.
We'd love to have him or her. I don't know. I'm assuming it's gender now.
Did you just assume it's gender, Frank?
I think that bot is too base to be invited to CPAC at this point.
Does the bot smoke weed?
I love your jab about CPAC because it's so true. They this year they would not let speakers come on and talk about pro-life causes and I'm sure that they were worried that if something like what did happen, Roe v. Wade getting overturned, their funding would dry up, and they were super worried about it.
Yeah, so Basebot won't be Basebot 3 won't be invited to CPAC.
But Brandy Love, let's have her. Let's definitely.
Right.
Yeah, she definitely pushes conservative values, doesn't she? Don't look her up in the chat, please, whatever you do.
Do not Google search, especially Google image search.
Yeah.
What was the name?
No.
Brandon?
Dark Brandon. Did you see them trying to do that? Did you see them the left trying to meme Dark Brandon?
Pathetic. Oh,
the left cannot meme is so true. The Dark Brandon thing proves that the left can't meme. They're like, oh, hey, here's this meme that's making fun of Joe Brandon, right? And we're not like self-aware enough or like have the actual comedic talent to pull off like self-deprecating humor. So we're just gonna push all this stuff out there, put a literal Nazi eagle behind Joe Biden, and be like, yeah, this is our guy.
They had him with like a beard and an eye patch.
They didn't think it through.
They literally wrote articles. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
They wrote all these articles celebrating themselves for making the Dark Brandon.
We can humor too, guys.
Well,
sorry, Tom.
I was just going to say they went to 4chan and they found a Nazi template for a meme. Right? And then they made the same version of it, but with Biden, and they didn't even remove the background of it, which was the Nazi eagle. And so, of course, it's just if the left can do anything original, it is just to destroy. All they can do is copy and paste from someone else.
Yeah, we're at nuclear MAGA right now, so they're way behind us. Dark
nuclear MAGA is
like
so much better than Dark Brandon.
Grab the cat. Grab the cat. Grab the cat. It's right behind you. Grab the cat.
Grab the cat. Get the cat. It's oiled up. It's oiled up.
They let you grab him by the pussy. You can do whatever you want.
All right, I have our fifth guest on for tonight.
It's like that video where the cat hits the lady when she does the pronouns.
Oh, look at the cute kitty. Hello,
She's
kitty.
so sweet. My husband named her Bean.
Bead?
Bean.
Oh, Bean. Okay.
Bean.
I think Frank's going to take offense to that.
That was a slight at me. Abby has earned a permanent ban from the Pubcast.
Abby,
is your other cat's name on here, but never mind.
Is your husband a fan of Jim Henson's The Little Bunny Picnic, where the lead bunny Muppet was also named Bean? Because that would make sense.
No, it was from a Netflix show, some like a adult cartoon.
I thought you guys just removed her from the
I
screen.
can't remember what it
I
was
was like,
called.
oh my god, last strike.
Like,
She's out.
Abby?
If it wasn't for that, then get her out of there.
You froze for a minute. What did you say was from an adult cartoon on Netflix?
Yeah, like one of those Family Guy, but it was like medieval themed or something.
Oh, I know that one from the Creators of Futurama. That one.
I think so. Yeah, it has a character named Bean.
I haven't watched it yet, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I can't for the life of me think of the name of it though. But
PJ,
anyway.
you got a drink.
Waffle Salter, what's up?
Thank you so much.
Seriously.
Thank you guys.
Getting me all.
Mr.
You know what it is? We tease them with the birds aren't real stuff, and they want to hear it. So Abby Libby is famous as a birds aren't real activist. So what's up with this?
Okay.
I like the start.
Pulls out
I like
a
I like
board
the
behind
start.
her. There's red tape everywhere.
I'm kind of retarded.
Do you have the red
Before JFK was assassinated, there was a sharp drop in the number of birds, and this raised some people's eyebrows. It had absolutely nothing to do with the invention of the BB gun and everyone getting their kid BB guns for Christmas. Nothing to do with that. It was definitely a nefarious plot to replace all the birds with surveillance drones, and JFK knew about this, and he tried to stand up for the American people, and that's why they assassinated him. But birds, they just pretty much all of them, not chickens or the ones we eat, but just pretty much all the birds are surveillance drones, and they just sit on the electric wires to charge their feet, and when they poop on you, that's battery corrosion. And have you ever seen a baby pigeon? I did not think so.
So I'm not as worried about the birds as the squirrels. If anybody's in the military, you guys have heard the term secret squirrel. And that actually, not a joke, that actually comes from a real thing where they tried to use cats and squirrels as spying devices. And, there might be something to your story because Iran actually arrested 14 squirrels, 14 GPS squirrels in 2007. So I don't know.
There was a episode of Rick and Morty where there was a little scene about the squirrels. Never tick off the squirrels, Morty. Never. Now we got to jump dimensions.
You know what they say? If it flies, it spies. So
I did hear that the Soviets had cats that were implanted with bugs, and then they trained the cats to do certain routes and walk certain ways.
The Americans actually started it in the CIA. There was a guy. Sorry, we don't have to get off in the weeds in this, but there was a guy that they nicknamed America's Q, like Q from James Bond. Cool. And that was his program, was actually putting tracking devices and microphones in cats that they
Thanks
would train
for correcting
to
me
walk
there,
around the
PJ.
Kremlin.
I love the actually there. That's awesome.
Actually,
it was the CIA, and here I can tell you what year it was, and I can tell you the name of the cat.
No, I was just corroborating what you're saying.
I know, I'm just
saying
teasing.
it's real. Yeah,
I had to say something there. So.
I have to be. Look, my Alex Joneses comes out after I have a little.
I'm kind of retarded.
So I am kind of retarded. Anyway,
damn it, Morty. Oh, you pulled it off the screen.
Where was
it? Nope, we're going on.
No,
do you have a good Rick impression, Tom?
I can, but not now. I don't. Now that you asked.
You guys upset him.
No, it's not that. It's just got to be it's got to be in the moment. Now you can't put me on the spot.
Then you get the belching in there too, and it's not easy to. Yeah.
My parents did that, or my mom did that to me the other last month. I was my uncle had passed away, so I was at a funeral, and afterwards you go and everybody gathers and they're eating and stuff like that, and my mom's like, "Hey son, do your Trump impression. I was like, she turns out she doesn't like Trump, but she loves when I do the Trump impression. She's like, he does the best Trump impression, guys. And I'm like, oh no, now I'm on the spot trying to do a Trump impression.
Yeah, it never sounds as good when someone demands it out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all going to sit here quietly till Frank does his Trump impression. I think that's the...
We're going to build a wall. It's going to be so high. I'm going to get the Mexicans. They're going to help with this. They're going to pay for the wall. Trust me. The breakfast tacos love it. It sounds good.
It was a Simpsons character. I just don't know which one.
Now Mexico is like, can you guys stay out? Please?
Yeah. Did we cover that story last week?
Yeah, Mexico City. Or we talked about it before. We do half the show before the show, and then we don't even get to it.
Yeah, you guys really miss out. We get on a half hour before we go live, and sometimes Frank will be like, oh yeah, we covered this like 3 weeks ago. I'm like, we talked about that before we went live. We talked about the certain stuff before our first episode, and it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, we never did talk about it live on air, though.
Yeah, we should just like record our candid stuff and release it throughout the week as bonus content.
For members only.
Yeah, members only.
Oh, goodness. All right. Didn't you have something else that you wanted to talk about tonight, PJ? I thought you had something.
Here's a reminder really quick. If you guys are still watching right now, you've got 40 minutes left of what we know is going to be the show. So what we've planned for. And if you could take the link right now, go share it on a social media platform of your choosing, Gab Getter, Truth Social, Twitter, Minds, whatever you're using, Facebook, etc. Go share the link. That might help us get a few more eyes before we wrap it up here in the next hour.
We have 46 followers right now over on the Last American Pubcast YouTube channel, Twitter. So if you're not on Twitter yet, we haven't made a Last American Pubcast for Gab yet. We probably need to do that here soon. But let's talk a little bit about the strike that we got on the channel for the Last American Pubcast. So last week we had Bryson Gray join us, and I thought for what we had, we kept it very, very PG rated, where we did not talk about anything. However, the YouTube diversity hires over there did not see it the same way, or at least the bots didn't. Maybe they don't got base bots. Maybe they should hire the base bot 3 from Facebook.
That's what they need.
Yeah.
We would do so much better under that. Yeah.
It would be. Susan, if you're listening, which I know you are, or at least one of your diversity bots are, we need to hire base bot 3 from Facebook.
Yeah,
anyway.
If the basebot 3 from Meta came over and started doing the an analysis on all of the words spoken on YouTube, they would remove the White House for being disinformation.
They would. Vosh would probably get kicked off too.
Didn't they try to cancel him a minute ago and it didn't stick?
Who, for Vosh?
Yeah.
That's surprising that something wouldn't stick to him.
Oh goodness! So they leveled a strike earlier this week. When was it? PJ, did I text you?
Wednesday, I believe.
Wednesday. So yeah, Wednesday, 4 or 5 days after the show, YouTube gave us a strike, which is a warning. If we lose our only warning that we had, I appealed it. They said based off of their analysis, we had broken community guidelines by promoting violence on the show, which we never did. And someone else had commented on our YouTube thread or our Twitter thread that we never talked anything like that. And so I appealed it, and I had to watch. I was talking to PJ most of that morning because had to listen to the entire show in its entirety all over again, just so because they don't give you a timestamp when they give you a strike. So you have to go fish for it. It's a 2-hour show, so I got to go through the whole show. So maybe there was something that I may have missed. Maybe we called for violence. Maybe we called for violence against people that ate well-done steaks. Who knows? So we went through the whole. I went through the whole show. Couldn't find anything. I appealed the strike back to YouTube, saying, "Hey, went through the whole thing. I know you guys are trying to keep, very PC, try to keep the community safe on YouTube. But after my review of this live stream, there was no indication of any type of violence toward any groups, people, or thereof after." And so I would.
Can I ask a quick question in this little interim? When we talked about steak being bloody, could it have heard someone being? I think it was maybe PJ talking about the steak being bloody. I wonder if maybe that.
Fault.
It's always my fault.
Well,
I'm not surprised.
It could have been that, Tom. But after the review, which was literally 5 minutes, they said no. We broke community guidelines for bullying.
Yeah, harassment and bullying.
Harassment and bullying is what we broke the rules for. So they didn't even stick to the same topic that I said that they originally had sent me. They changed it midway through to fit whatever they wanted. So I think we were targeted on the channel last week. And this is one main reason I don't keep these archive on my main channel, just because I know the game that this goes through. And I don't want to have to do that over the Last American Pubcast, because I think these conversations that we have with our guests are fantastic. I don't want anybody to miss out on them. So anyway, so I pulled up this Twitter thread that we pulled out over here on Twitter from the Last American Pubcast. It said, yesterday, YouTube gave our channel a strike on our live stream. YouTube claimed that we had incited violence. Obviously, we did not. After appealing the claim, YouTube denied the appeal and said it was due to bullying in the video, which did not happen. So Team YouTube decided to go ahead and jump in my thread. So let's check on that. Share the vid URL plus more details and think you missed or whatever. So I gave them the link there. And it says that we're now looking up to it. We'll update you soon. I said, thank you. Then Team YouTube says, heard back. We checked your channel and found that it violated our community guidelines. This is why we're standing behind our previous decision to keep it terminated. Also, you're now unable to access, create, or possess any other YouTube accounts.
Crazy overreaction there, by the way, which they didn't even follow through with.
That seems like a bot response by itself, because it's not fitting for what we were talking about.
Correct. Yeah. And so it's funny how they put this under a may contain offensive content, which it did not. It says, doing your part to manipulate the elections ahead of the midterms.
Amazing.
Talking about that. So I went ahead and just updated the community on over here on YouTube. I keep saying that. So Last American Pubcast. So once again, YouTube is targeting the opinions of minorities they don't like. This is typical of this platform. This is why more and more creators are heading to Rumble and Odysee. I genuinely believe that they saw Bryson Gray on our show and decided that was it.
Yeah, I think that's what it. I mean, I watched it too. I re-listened to it, same as you, Frank, and I couldn't find anything in there. Mm-hmm. And some of the people in chat that watched last week were saying they couldn't think of anything. Like, I legitimately was racking my brain going through this. I'm like, did we make a joke about? Like, my thought instantly was like, did we make a joke about pedophiles or something like that? Like, did we do like a definite joke that they took out of context? I couldn't find anything even like that.
Yeah.
Well, if we can't find it, I'll just say it was me. I mean, I probably said something that they took the wrong way.
And go ahead.
They were going to cancel your channel for good, but then PJ invited me on and I made a call. So
yeah, we got that, basic Fed girl in chat here. That's why, we don't normally go for the, diversity guest, but this week we kind of had to save our channel. So bear with us, guys.
Our ESG score just went up.
Yeah, our ESG.
Yeah, because we brought a woman on. We increased our diversity.
There we go.
And also, my Discord got nuked this week as well. At the beginning of the week, my Discord got nuked. So if you were following me over on Discord on Let's Be Frank, that is now gone. I am on Telegram, and I've been putting that in my videos. So I haven't updated the this one on the links on this video. So I'll have to just go to my channel. You'll see it. I have all that stuff over there. But yeah, I'm now on Telegram because Discord seems to hate memes, and they would rather protect people that like to prey on little ones over there. So no longer on Discord, was booted off, and everybody else was booted off that was a mod for me. So I'm sorry about that if you were a mod over on Discord with me.
Discord's the weirdest thing because it's supposedly a private server, an invite-only server. Mm-hmm. And yet they moderate everything like super weird like that. I will say this though, this is why I think the Trump stuff is so important right now, because they go after Trump and then they feel confident that they can crack down everybody come up to the election. So we've seen this everywhere. Twitter's cracking down on people. YouTube's obviously cracking down on people. Your Discord cracked down on you. I mean, people in chat let us know, but I feel like every one of us here has seen an uptick in the censorship going on this week. Twitter announced new guidelines that are like, hey, don't say anything, don't say anything we don't like, because we have a really good track record with, Hunter Biden's laptop being proven Russian disinformation in 2020. So trust us instead. Sorry, you're going to say something, Abby?
Oh, they are just they write guidelines that are obviously hostile toward conservatives. Like you read them and you know exactly who they're designed for, but they're also vague enough that you know that they can apply them however they want and get away with not applying them to people like Nancy Pelosi or Hillary Clinton, who have also questioned an election.
Well, it's funny you bring up Nancy Pelosi because right after 2020, they stopped allowing people to run campaign ads on Twitter. And yet a month later, Nancy Pelosi was running campaign ads on Twitter. So what they were saying is, we'll only allow campaign ads to run that we like. And everybody just kind of forgot about that story.
Yeah, can we get to 50 followers over on Twitter? That'd be great. If we're 3 away. We got 47 followers over on Twitter right now for the Last American Pubcast channel. Would love to see if we can get up to 50 tonight. That'd be great. We got a half hour left in the show. That would be amazing if we could get up to 50. So, all right, there we go. Sorry. We just wanted to promote our stuff.
Absolutely. So I did have another story that came out this week, and I think it'll just be another flop, but I kind of wanted to bring this up.
Well, most of what you bring up is, but go ahead. I'm kidding.
I don't mean a flop on the show. I mean a flop as in I don't think people will care. But yeah.
No, the whale cat's in the background again. Nope, it's gone.
Yep. Did you guys see? Okay, so we had the coronavirus, which was definitely caused by bats for sure. We're not
that's the other one.
Absolutely caused by bats.
It was a pangolin.
Well, now they're trying to push the story from China.
Did you just chuck the cat?
Did you
just chuck the cat?
Did you just pull an alinity on our stream? That got her kicked off of Twitch.
Abby, yeah, you're going to get kicked off the stream. You keep throwing cat around.
Yeah, diversity hires at YouTube do not like that.
We're going to say it's animal abuse.
Abby's like, here you go. Here's your next strike. Oh.
No, that was fine. Yeah, they have 9 lives and they always land on their feet. So.
We're all good. Harder to kill than cockroaches. So
Cats for Trump 2024.
Sorry,
man.
What was your story, PJ? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I was gonna say.
I want to throw this in right now while we're at a break. Waffle Salter, every time he sends anything in or when he comments, I just get the hankering for like some waffles or pancakes with some syrup. And it's a thing that I always had growing up, but now that I'm an adult, like I can't do it. It's too rich. But waffle, just seeing that word pop up, maybe it's subliminal. I'm like, God, no, like my mouth is watering thinking of waffles and syrup.
You know, we haven't talked about DiGiorno yet either. You typically get sponsored by DiGiorno.
Yeah, where's our DiGiorno sponsorship at? I will say this. I agree with Tom. As much as I loved waffles and pancakes growing up, now I eat them as an adult. And I'm like, yeah, this is too rich. I don't
like
I crave them and then I eat it and I'm like, eh.
That's why you need chicken and waffles. You need that savory waffle.
I actually like chicken and waffles, so I think you're right. I think that's the key. When you get older, you have to add chicken to it.
And it kind of depends too if you go to a good place that has a good bechamel, the little like the sauce, the gravy. You know what I'm talking about? It's a French gravy. If you don't know, all right.
No, I don't know what that is actually.
Oh, well, you should look up what a bechamel is. It's like a white gravy sauce. It goes on like an omelet, maybe if you're fancy. Or
okay, Mr. 1%er over here with
your
bougie freaking pancake additives.
Here's my pint glass that I got from my fancy French bistro I worked at where we did that.
There you go, Tom. So we had Salty Panther and now Oily Pea.
I mean, what'd you expect when you invited a woman on the stream? Seriously.
Well, you know, we were just trying to save our channel. That was the only thing that went into factoring that decision.
I'm just happy that no one's made a blue waffle joke yet. And now we're gonna go to PJ. PJ, you had a story, and I interrupted it, and now I'm putting it back. So
part of the story is gonna involve everybody in chat googling blue waffles. I know what I'm talking about. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You brought it up, Nani. All right, so the story I was gonna bring up. Obviously, we can trust the CCP that the coronavirus definitely came from bats. And then we were told to be afraid of monkeypox. And now even the CDC is saying, yeah, probably just cover yourself in Band-Aids when you go to an orgy and you're good. That's like their only guidelines. So to continue the fear campaign, because again, the global warming thing is starting to fail them. They're pushing this new thing called shrew. They're not calling it shrewpox. They're calling it the Langia virus or LayV new coronavirus, which they say comes again from China, but this time it comes from shrews. So you can definitely trust that this comes from shrews and not a lab that's directly across the street from the market where they sold not bat soup that, you know, So definitely trust them. I don't know. Like I saw this story and I'm like, are they really going to try to push a new coronavirus coming from shrews and expect this to stick with people?
I'm kind of surprised they don't say they're coming from lemmings just to see if we're all going to be stupid enough to follow that.
Now, do we really believe it came from the wet market or that it was actually like from the lab?
It definitely came from the wet market because the bat that was in hibernation 800 miles away is
news.
definitely where it came from. And not
that came from Fauci's kitchen. He said it himself. He was cooking up COVID in the kitchen.
It could just possibly come from the coronavirus lab in Wuhan. That's just crazy.
Yeah. The researchers that went, completely missing after they got sick. Nothing to do with it.
The guy who broke the news over what did he send it over? Like some Google chat thing, and went missing the very next week in China. Yeah.
In 2019, China hosted for the first time ever the global military games, and they had them. And as soon as they had that, we had a bunch of people saying that they were getting really sick. And people have hypothesized that that was actually the first super spreader event, and that they dosed or tried to see what it would do first to the healthiest people who are in the military competing in these games. And then they see, okay, well, if this is what it does to the best of the best specimens of the world, here's how we can see a control group of it doesn't affect these groups, it does affect this. And then they say, okay, go. And all those people went back to their home countries and it spread like wildfire.
Yeah,
I'd like to mention that we did break 50 followers over on Twitter. So thank you, everybody, for going over there. We're at 51. So fantastic.
So actually what Tom, and that is awesome. So thank you guys so much for that. What Tom said is interesting. So what you're talking about, I think, was Event 201, right? You're talking about the tabletop game that Bill Gates did where they played out.
No, I'm telling you that in China, they were the first. So there are always annual military global games. Each big military sends their elite and they compete in different military games, like who can raid the house the fastest, like the IRS will. Those kinds of challenges. Yeah, exactly. How many cats can you skin in a minute? So those kinds of things. And so hey, I have 3. It's okay. I have 3 of them. It's all right. I used to have 4.
We lost Abby.
So PJ, this was not 201. This is a different thing. China hosted for the first time ever. So it's been a thing before, but it was the first time that China had hosted it. The Global Military World Games. And so it's the best of the best military athletes going and competing in these military challenges. And that was the first time that there was a supposed spread.
Yeah, so China did actually point that out, by the way. So I never really looked into it that much just because it came from the CCP. But they said that it was the American military that spread it in China originally. Is that what you're?
Well, they were accusing it was being they said it was the American military because it was our lab, but they're in Wuhan. So it's who's in control of it if it's all your people? But it's your money. It's your money, so you paid for it. It's your liability.
Yeah, all that stuff that Rand Paul questioned Fauci about, and then he lied under oath, and then nothing happened. Yeah, but
do you want to change your story, Dr. Fauci? Do you want to change your story? He's like, no, I do not, Senator. I'm not going to ever change my story ever. I'm going down with this fucker. It was unbelievable.
Absolutely. But what I want to point out was something kind of adjacent to that. Was you can just look this stuff up. I'll show it on screen here. But Event 201 was a scenario where they tabletopped this game. Here, I'll pull it up on screen while I'm talking about this. They tabletopped this thing, coronavirus. So back in 2019 or 2018 or whatever.
Whenever I play tabletop games, I never release a worldwide pandemic. So I play Risk all the time. This game take days to finish.
Although to be fair, in middle school, I got
Risk, by the way.
In middle school, I got an iPod Touch, and one of the games you could play on that was the pandemic game, where you had to
I remember that.
Try to get a disease to spread across the world and kill as many people as possible until you won the game by killing humanity. And maybe they did that to figure out if people play it 1 billion times, they have a lot of data from that.
Well, you know what's funny about that is after there was that Android game Pandemic, and after coronavirus started, they actually changed the name of the game and changed how you played it, because that was to release a pandemic and spread it all over. So yeah, but anyway, this Event 201.
There's an actual tabletop game called Pandemic too.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't played that one. I'm a big fan of Risk, though. I love that game. You're right. It's great if you just leave it out and play for days on end.
Now that you have cats, though, they will destroy the board.
I absolutely slaughtered my husband at Risk one time.
I thought you were gonna say your cat's over there.
I was like, whoa, Abby.
She slaughtered cats and they ruined her Risk game.
We
never played.
What kind of guest did you line up tonight, PJ? I tell you.
Man.
I don't know.
I didn't
I
watch
don't
the
know.
whole show last week. Maybe I missed a whole part of Skinning
Hey,
Cats
found
at
us
the
a real
beginning.
Stephen Avery over here.
I guess. So the point I wanted to make really quick, I'll make it before Abby cuts me off again with her skinning her cat story, is that they pre-gamed this Event 201 of what would happen if a coronavirus came from bats and spread all over the world. And that happened right before the pandemic happened. Then there was this NTI paper, Strengthening Global Systems to Prevent Response to High Concurrence Biological Threats. You can read this right off of their website, where they tabletopped what would happen if monkeypox spread all over the world. And it actually goes on in these that's happened months ago, before the monkeypox spread started.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why we called it when the
So-
monkey truck tipped over. This was like the second data point. We were like, well,
Yep.
they called it. Now there's monkeys in the wild.
These are official government websites I'm reading off of, by the way. These are not conspiracy theory websites. This is right off of NTI.com or .org. And this other one is the World Economic Forum Center for Health Security.org. So I'm reading literally off of government websites right now. So the other one, the NTI paper, actually goes on to say this many people are going to be affected by monkeypox. And then a year into it, we're going to find out that it was released on purpose. That's
Right.
in
That's
the
why
NTI
Bill
paper.
Gates a month
So
ago
what
was
I'm
saying, he's like,
saying-
we have to be ready for these things to be weaponized. We have to be ready for it to be a terrorist attack.
Right. So what I'm saying is now that they're showing the shrewpox thing, I'm curious, and I haven't looked into this yet. I'm curious if there's any tabletop games going on out there that there was some kind of coronavirus spread from shrews. I think that will tell us whether or not the media picks this up.
I didn't even know what a shrewd was until you showed me. I thought shrewd was just somebody that was shrewd.
Wow. This is like a Shakespearean play, only it's going to be called The Blaming of the Shrew.
Okay, but what if
Anybody?
they take this, they say a right-wing
I got your joke, by the way,
homophobic
Tom.
person
I didn't get it.
planted this monkeypox, and they blame it on the right. They say
They
we
might
did it.
try to do that. They said it was some type of, I don't remember who they said, but they said some type of terrorist organization. So maybe
Yeah,
they're
the
gonna,
Lincoln Project.
yeah, they planted it personally, very personally.
A conservative terrorist group who's responsible for monkeypox.
Yeah. I love the fact that the left can point at the Lincoln Project and people believe they're a right-wing group.
Salty
Yeah.
Aren't they
says
just like
he's had
a bunch of
memer.
pedophiles and they wear suits, so they're considered conservative?
I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Starts at the Lincoln Project, moves through Nick Fuentes and the Groypers, and then hits the mainstream.
There we go.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I don't think a lot of people knew that, but you can go to nti.org and it's on their front page. I think still on their front page, this
That's
tabletop
insane.
game. I'll make sure, but
Yeah,
I
makes you want
forgot
to play
about
a
the
tabletop.
monkeys.
Makes you want to play a tabletop game now.
right. Yeah.
I forgot about the monkeys getting released. It's insane how much crazy stuff happens that you just completely forget about a couple of months later.
Yeah, that
remember
happened
the-
in Pennsylvania too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said it was a
Yeah.
truck from New York to Pennsylvania to a lab. The truck tips over. A woman is told, "Don't touch the monkeys," and she reaches in because she thought it was a kitty, and then it jumps out and sprays her in the face.
How do you
Funny-
think
funny
a
story-
monkey's a kitty?
Well,
Funny
you
story
know,
about that. When that
You see a
happened,
tail. You curious?
when the monkey bit that lady in Pennsylvania, I called my dad and I said, wait for the next pandemic to outbreak to be linked to this. They've never actually tried to link it to that, which is funny.
Right.
But when I saw that, I was like, the next thing is going to deal with monkeys.
Monkeys.
I mean, I was right at least halfway.
Yeah.
I don't think that it was like what from that one in particular. I think
No.
they were shipping contagious monkeys with monkeypox to all the different labs they needed it to get to under the guise of studying, because Fauci has, tens of thousands of monkeys. We found that out in the last year.
Beagles.
And beagles, yeah.
And and he's not, that's not the only thing.
Had beagles.
Had
then we-
beagles.
But we see
Had.
monkeypox would be a thing that would spread. It would be contagious, and it's popping up all across the world at the same time, that's why it's odd. It would be one thing if it came like a wave across the world, that would make sense. But for it to just be sporadically all popping up at the same time tells you that it's seeded.
No one
Yeah.
ever points that out. This did start supposedly at a gay orgy in Europe, but no one has ever explained where any of the people in this gay orgy in Europe, Americans that came back to America.
Was that the
'cause-
Davos group?
Right. Yeah, right. That's my point. Is like you're right. That's spreading everywhere simultaneously. It doesn't seem like it actually organically came here from Africa to Europe, from Europe to America.
Slim Picker says the trucker was told he was hauling cats.
The monkey.
That's
Yeah.
sus.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That is sus.
Yeah.
And they did say in the news story that they were going to a lab to be studied for something. That's why when it happened, I called my dad and I was like, just wait, there's going to be another attempted lockdown over some new virus because this monkey outbreak in Pennsylvania.
Yep, we're heading into what was that movie with the monkeys took over
Outbreak.
the world?
Planet of
not
the
that one.
Apes.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes.
Oh, there's that other movie with what Denzel Washington called Outbreak from the 90s where a monkey started a.
I wouldn't be surprised
Pandemic.
if Fauci's part chimp.
He's part gremlin for sure.
Yeah.
Have you
no.
watched the Fauci Unmasked documentary that the Daily Wire did?
No.
I haven't watched it yet.
No, I'm reading The Real Fauci, though.
Really
That's an
good.
interesting book.
Are you
Yeah.
watching? Are you watching Fauci's documentary from Discovery?
PBS?
Gosh, no.
No, the
Saving
Fauci
the World
Unmasked,
by Dr. Fauci.
Fauci Unmasked goes into his career and how thoroughly he messed up HIV and just continuing to fail up and fail up and fail up. It's insane that this man has had such an incredible career.
Well, he
Well,
said
if
it's
you
because of
If you
him.
wanted to create HIV, then he didn't fail. He succeeded. If you wanted to spread it and kill a bunch of people, then he didn't fail. He succeeded. And that's why he is where he is, because they see it as success, I think. But oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Somebody
well,
else.
salty. No, Fauci said that just recently that people are going into the medical field because of him. He inspired
was what I was
a
thinking
whole
of.
new
The Fauci
wave of
effect.
medical. Yeah, the
I
Fauci
have
effect.
that
That's what it was.
story pulled up right
He
here.
goes,
Yeah.
he's like, if you got it, go up. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll pull it up while you're talking.
Tom, come on.
He tells the interviewer that people go to school
Do the
now
voice.
because they see me as a hero. They see me as a beacon of truth and science and hope. And so that's what he actually claims that students from high school want to go now into the medical community because I symbolize integrity. That's what he
Yes.
says. It's a joke. I mean, he has to choke on these words.
Yeah, here's the video of him saying that, by the way.
We don't hear anything.
My
Which is
bad.
probably
Sorry.
good.
I forgot to hit that button because I wasn't planning on sharing the audio. I'll bring it back up. We don't have to watch it, but he says exactly what Tom was saying. It's the Fauci effect. People go to school and they say, I symbolize integrity and truth. That's what
Has
he says.
anybody ever seen Fauci and Garland in the same room? Because I think they might be the same person.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Tom, we can't hear
you know what though? You said that Fauci helped spread AIDS in the 1980s. He did say that he went to bathhouses to study it, so maybe he personally also helped
Spread
Yeah.
AIDS. Now, the conspiracy,
With
why
Big
is
Mike?
it always diseases that affect gay people?
Wait, say that. What were you saying, Frank? I'm sorry.
That's a Big Mike. That's a with Big Mike.
Oh,
He was
Big
studying-
Mike. I thought you said somebody's mic was muted. Why does
Yeah.
it always affect gay people? That's a good question. I don't know. Does he have it out for him or?
Yeah. I mean, they say that they love these people and then they're launching these diseases that affect these people.
That was
Because
the left wing
they're the most promiscuous, and if they can get as many people to be promiscuous as possible, then it'll spread. They know that sex is the one thing that people won't deny themselves. Even during the pandemic, they were saying, I won't go to work. I won't go and feed my family. I won't even try to go to the store to get food, but I got to hook up with my Tinder date. So these people are
Tinder
retarded.
saw a huge spike during COVID. So you're exactly right, Tom.
Yeah.
These people would lock themselves down. They would say, oh, it's dangerous if I go out and do this and that and the other. I can't let my kid go to school and get an education, but I can go bang a stranger from the internet. And nobody stopped doing that. That was
Yeah, no, I mean,
previously
that's
doing
So
what
now the
the-
monkeypox is spreading, and they're telling people you got to be careful in certain areas, wear a mask, and don't go to your gay piss orgy without washing your hands after.
But that's the crazy thing. They're not telling them not to go, and you're exactly right on that. They will
Abby, that's
not
a real thing. I know
deny.
you're making a face. That's a real thing.
No,
Yeah, It goes all the way back to the sex revolution back of the 60s where
Right.
they wanted to break up the nuclear family and encourage the promiscuous sex and things like that because, it was part of this grand scheme of what we're seeing play out now. We're able to spread these things a lot easier with people being promiscuous, and they just love the idea of things like Tinder now and Grindr or whatever else is out there that people go hook up on.
That's why you have laws in California that allow for people to knowingly infect other people with HIV, and they don't have to tell them, and it's not a crime anymore. It's not considered attempted murder. And I think it's like they want to, you asked the question, why is it always gay people? I think it's that if they see there are a lot of people who act in that way or behave in that way, but don't tell, like the closeted, those people will take
Okay.
it from the community and bring it to the public, and they won't be trackable or traceable in that way. And that's
Interesting.
provable because the FBI knows it because it's them, and the CIA knows it because it's them. And so they say they've got a wife, they've got 2 kids, they go to church, but on Friday night they were out with, someone from their phone that they can't tell their wife about. And
Right.
that's the person they're going to get monkeypox from.
Well, I like to call. It's the last call. We are at the 10-minute mark, guys. We got 10 minutes left. So if you have any questions for Abby for the next 10 minutes, she will be happy to answer them, especially if they are in super chat form. We'll go ahead and get those. But I got super chats pulled up, and we'll go ahead and go through these as we go through the last call. So we got
get Abby's unique, unfunny female perspective.
So the first one was from Remington Stewart for $20. It says, hold the line, Patriots, in honor. There is hope. Yes. So thank you so much, Remington Stewart, for that super chat. Alien Testosterone came in with $2. Says we made back the blue, not a police state. He says.
Yep.
And then Waffle Salter said, China.
China.
Thank you, Tom.
It came from China.
Yeah, Ryan came in with also a $20 for China.
China. It came from China.
Thank you so much, Ryan. We also had a $10 super sticker from Movie Dog. So thank you, Movie Dog, for the love. Ian came in with a $5 super chat. Says, hello, Frank. Miss you, brother. Yes. If you guys don't know, prayer streams are coming back on Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time on Uniquely Us and Let's Be Frank. So I hope you guys will tune in 9 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday, weekday prayer stream. So if you want to come in and study the Bible with me, that is something that we'll be doing 5 days a week, unless otherwise noted. But the normal schedule will be Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. So I hope to see you guys there.
Sounds like my prayers have been answered if you're bringing that back.
Yes, sir. I had to take the summer off. The schedule's way wonky during the summer. Cheryl with the $5 super chat says, thank you, Frank, for all you do. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Cheryl. Thank you so much for the love.
Absolutely. I want to say on a personal note, we all are thankful to Frank because he's the one who had the idea for the Last American Pubcast and gathered all of us together to do this. So I'm thankful to Frank as well.
Yeah, we appreciate Frank, even though we give him a hard time.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Oh, that's so nice. Balls in holes said the FBI went in June, said nothing was wrong, and told Trump to put a lock on the door. They've already messed up just on that.
Well, he's
I kind of heard the comment,
right.
but I heard the name.
Balls in holes is 100% correct.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, their
much.
comment was correct as well.
Waffle Salter says, here standing for America, and I don't know, I was supposed to oil my cat. Abby.
Yes, you are. They like that.
If there's one takeaway from the stream, it is birds are not real and oil your cats.
Oil your cats.
Those are two.
Yeah.
Always oil your
Thanks.
cat. If you have
Always
fun
oil
trying
your
to chase it around the living room.
It helps
There's
them
a
catch the
compound
birds.
statement.
Oh, goodness. Well, you guys can find Abby over on Twitter. Let me put her Twitter back up on the in the chat there so you guys can go. And if you are not following her, she has some pretty base takes throughout the week. I just recently started following her. I'm not sorry that I did. So that is good. So, and also Salty D says she has a memer for us now, guys.
Nice.
Yes.
Yay.
So I'm excited about that. So we will be contacting you after we get through with the stream or sometime tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and do that. So what else we have in here? FBI needs to be torn asunder, said Gary, and retrained as a law enforcement tool, not as a intelligent gathering secret police force.
I like the idea of just making states have their own. We don't need a federal Bureau of Investigation. If it's a federal crime, then you'll have multiple state agencies working cohesively.
Yeah, I never understood the argument that you couldn't have, states cooperating with each other instead of having an overarching federal police force.
Boy, did we learn our lesson after the
crap.
Articles of Confederation.
Right, yeah. I do want to say something really quick. I want to say something really quick for the people who are listening to this. So there are people that listen on audio only, and we appreciate you guys as well. So go follow Abby the Lib _, LIBB _ Abby the Lib _ she's our guest tonight. If you want to get, some pretty base takes, she is a female, but grading on a curve, she's got a great Twitter.
Yes, Frank would say she's as Frank would say, she's pretty conservative for a woman.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Pretty based for one. Not as based as BaseBot 3 or BlenderBot 3 or whatever, but you know.
Yeah, no. We need to get on the show. We need BaseBot 3 on the show. If we can get a hold of Meta, somebody from over at Meta, maybe one of the diversity hires here on YouTube can get us in contact with one of the Meta diverse hires.
Yep, absolutely.
We can get that. Howard says, I didn't know you guys existed. I just like listening to Frank. I'll give you guys a subscribe. Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Howard.
That's good.
Hungry
Sorry, Frank, I didn't
Howie.
mean to take that down.
No, you're good. What else we have in here? We got a couple more minutes here. Hello.
Salty D says, Got's wiener.
Okay. Maybe there's some missing context in that.
Don't quite get it.
That's how you get the monkeypox, Salty D. I don't know.
Yeah. Salty D says Frank Amez Memes runs KMA Meme School. Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
There we go.
Yeah, there's our meme person, guys. Maybe we'll have some oil cat memes, so that way we can bombard Abby's Twitter with them now.
Yeah, and if any politicians or future politicians listen to this, the one piece of advice me and Frank have given to other people that we need you guys to take is if you want to win an election, you have to have a meme game. It's an absolutely required thing now.
Yeah, I've seen some cringe-worthy memes put out by Dr. Oz's team, and they're really bad. They're really bad. Tom, you got to do something.
So
Tom.
bad.
Got to do something, Tom. That's your boy. Your boy floundering.
What?
Frank is always, yeah, he's just savage over here.
You think Dr. Oz is my guy?
You made the case for Dr. Oz.
I made a case for math.
Okay,
Don't talk about math. We have a woman in the chat. She won't get it.
God.
Hey, I passed my AP calculus test. Thank you very much.
That makes two of us.
I did not take AP calculus. So.
Neither
That's why I knew the other guys didn't. Oh!
That's what you get. That's what you
PJ got
get.
attacked by PJ on the screen.
Oh,
my
man.
gosh.
Who's that?
That's PJ.
My giant war poster, my Obama-style propaganda poster just fell on me. Oh my gosh, hold on.
That's what you get for Abby slander.
She's going to send her.
This is how we know
Hardy
that God
oil
watches
cats against
the Last American Pubcast.
Oh goodness!
I need some stronger adhesive, I guess. Holy cow!
All
What's
right.
What's that infomercial where the guy slaps that tape on the tank and it stops water coming out? I need that.
Flex tape.
Yeah, I need something like that. Holy cow!
It's funny.
Oh well, it was a fantastic time tonight on this edition of Last American Pubcast. You guys can always catch us live on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 to 9. Normally we have a guest. This week was Abby. Maybe she'll come back again, and we can have her twice in a row. Maybe since Tom will be out of town, we might need somebody to fill that chair while Tom is
married
gone.
or something lame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on that invitation, by the way, Tom.
I'll be
I'm still
officially
looking.
off the market, ladies. Sorry.
Aww.
Yeah,
I know,
so
I'm
that's
about
how
to
you guys
lose
know
some
the
subscribers.
ladies watching us know you messed up because Tom is off the market as of next week. So
That's
Hey,
it.
you got 1 week. You got 1 week.
That hair and that beard, mwah. You see him in those pictures? That's
Yeah, and I
swamp,
can even look better if I want. Try.
yeah, could you only imagine if he wasn't engaged? How much better he would? How much
Can you
harder?
imagine if I was on the prowl?
Right.
You wouldn't stand a chance. None of you.
I would also just like to also thank everybody that came out tonight to be part of tonight's Last American Pubcast. I do believe tonight was our largest show since the starting of this stream. So fantastic. I appreciate all of you guys that came in, tuned in over on Twitter, over on Odysee, Rumble, YouTube, over on the Let's Be Frank channel, on Facebook with BaseBot 3. He might be our only viewer over there on Facebook.
It was the cats.
Yeah, we were also on Rumble and Odysee over here as well.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
We appreciate all of you guys. Tonight was such a success. And again, Abby, you're more than welcome to come back next week if you have a open time and your availability to fill in for Tom as this slacker goes to get married.
I would love to.
Taters and Eggs just bought us all around.
Heyo.
$50 super chat. Love you, bro.
Wow.
Be ready for the next one. Here we go. God bless. Thank you so much, Taters and Eggs. Also, now I'm hungry.
Now. This is how-
Tater and Eggs is awesome. Thank you so much, Tater and Eggs, for that super chat. Awesome. Like Salt says, love your shows, Frank and guests. Yes, fantastic. So make sure you guys go follow us over on the Last American Pubcast on Twitter, over on Facebook, and also over on YouTube. Last American Pubcast. Just type it in on either three of those platforms, and you will instantly be taken to our stuff. We are currently working on a Odysee account, a Gab account, and also a Rumble account. Hopefully we can get all that stuff up and going within the next few weeks as we continue to grow this wonderful show that we have on Saturday nights. Who knows? Maybe by next year we'll be doing 2 nights. Who knows? Next year's a long way away. So anyway, thank you everyone for coming out for the Last American Pubcast. The pub is now closed. So we'll see you guys a little bit later. Have a great one, everybody. And I hope you guys all have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you guys next Saturday. Same time, same place, same channels. Good night, guys.
God bless.